Gotta get the banner up.
There you go. What is up, everyone? We are live. Let me turn this off here. Make sure I don't get any feedback. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a little feedback. Nothing crazy. But we got 0% drop. So the internet's way better than this week.
Yeah, hold on one second.
I'll take time. We can let people get in anyways.
Yes.
Need to turn on comments. And remember, guys, we're also live on YouTube and Facebook today.
There we go. All right. Used to be able to share this thing a whole lot easier.
What's going on, Ed? Steve over there from New Baller Wheels. They look good, Steve.
Oh, there we go. Groups.
What's on the plate tonight, Ed? I think we're talking some Turbo LSX in a Fairmont, plus some more.
We're just gonna talk about Fairmont. We ain't gonna talk about that that motor.
It's got the Lord Savior 5.3 in it.
It's got a good TKM motor in it. That's what it's got.
Yeah, right here. So I need to tell Jordan he's good to come on. But I hope y'all are ready for rivalry season as much as I am. This feedback's killing me. I'm not used to talking and hearing it through the headset.
Yeah, you almost have to take the headset off a little bit so that you don't get crazy feedback.
What's going on, John?
What is up? What is up?
Also, what's up, everybody on YouTube? We got 15 viewers on YouTube.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. So if anybody from YouTube is new to this is Turbo Tuesday, sort of like a live cast, we'll call it, instead of a podcast. And let's see if I can get this thing to where it's not.
Gizmo too slow. Best advice? Be ready to spend money.
Into drag race, small tire, no pram, any advice? Oh, that's a... I'm not going to tell you don't to do it because you can have an amazing time and build almost a family type atmosphere with everybody. I would say do what you can afford. And I will tell you, if you're not a Ford guy, it's unfortunate because the Fox Body Mustang is your most affordable way to get into it. So,
not many other options outside the Fox Body.
Well,
honestly,
F-bodies are getting a lot better. I mean, there's a lot of F-body, prep cars out there now. And there's a lot of F-bodies to be, you can get them cheap. Cheap. So, it just depends on what you want to get, It depends on a whole lot of stuff.
351 base motor setup, that's not bad.
Or just be happy with a street car. I would keep it as straight as you can and race it in events that you enjoy and that your car fits. So,
look at this comment.
Hey man, Ford.
He bought the glue, Henry. Sorry.
Ford stepped it up, man. Ford said, I'm gonna build the perfect drag car. Which I just watched Ford versus Ferrari last night. This is the first time I had never seen it.
That's a great movie. I've watched it about 5 times.
That was the first time I watched it. That was awesome. I liked it.
All right. Let's see. And yeah, OG 28 is going to be good, man. We've got some great stuff lined up for that. I mean, 10 grand to win kicking off in May. Guaranteed.
Word.
So Jordan's having a couple issues, so as soon as he's good, we'll go with that.
Got a 93 Coupe Fox. I mean, boy, you've got all the pieces there to have fun. Now, 351 Windsor based, everybody's going to give you a little bit of grief about that. But not me, because that's what I do. But if it's stock block, I mean, you can go fast. But that's going to be fast more in the street car sense, in my opinion. So, I mean, Levi's putting a pretty much street car 351 Windsor based stock blower. No, not stock blower. All right.
There you go.
Absolutely. 9.5 deck for the win. Love it. Love it. G-body shuffle. Man, I think we need more G-bodies.
I agree there. I love some Malibus. You got a sweet one.
No, sir. I've got all the great things of a Fox body without having a Fox body.
I mean, if you didn't know and you seen the front, you'd think, look at that sweet Malibu.
They are definitely very... And there are some that are identical. Especially, like, I don't know what the difference is, but like some of the Malibu wagons and some of them have the 4 headlights with the 2 park lights. It looks identical. There's almost no difference. And if you saw them going down the road and didn't know what you're looking at, they definitely look identical. I don't know.
So, while we're waiting on Jordan, I will say it was good seeing everybody this weekend, even though the circumstances wasn't great. One of our good friends, Jimmy Arnold, he lost his father this past week. So, hate that. Jimmy's always been a good buddy to us. Dad was a great guy.
Oh, yeah, his dad watched YouTube, I think both the channels, pretty much religiously, so it's unfortunate. Never like to have to or get to see everybody just from that type of circumstance, but
that's
it was good fellowship, that's for sure. For sure.
So Gizmo, he's out of North Carolina, so Carolina Interior right down the road, Piedmont. I've been to Piedmont a bunch, Gizmo. I
Carolina in no time. You better have a $300,000 car. That's just my opinion.
I'm not gonna say the amount you need money wise, but you better have something that's gonna go
a $300,000
bottom 4s, high
car.
3s, and small block boost.
I will throw. You need a $250,000 car to be competitive.
Oh, all right. So Jordan's got connected. So give me a second. I'm gonna bring him in, but we're gonna give you an introduction to who Jordan is to begin with. I got a small little video package from Dig or Die. So this was his passes, and Jordan, if he didn't do anything, he put on a show at Dig or Die. So here you go. Jordan was killing it at Dig or Die off the wheel stand, so he didn't do anything, man. So let me get him added in. Let me see how we do this. I'm still new to this, guys, so we'll do some picture-in-picture, local. Oh.
All right.
So I'm still learning how to do all this, but we're going to go with it. So,
That should be it.
everybody, welcome in Jordan.
There we go. Perfect. Can you hear us?
We can't hear you, Jordan.
Yep, we ain't got any. No sound.
Hold up. I think it's on my end. Hold on one second.
Probably on his end.
It's on our end. Try it now, Jordan.
Nope. Not yet. Let's see here.
Let's see. Yeah, I got perfect volume for you, Jordan. So I don't know what it is on your end. Wait, there we go. Now try, Jordan. Now try.
You got me now?
I got you now.
There we go.
It was on my end. I'm
there
still
we go.
learning, man. I'm still
Corey
learning.
had to figure out how to press the on button, is what it was.
You had me walking
really-
to find different headphones.
This is super technical here, but no, you're good. You're good. The I think earpods work really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was beginning wondering if there was something wrong with them, so you had me going to try to find a different set.
Nope, you're good. You're good. It was all.
It was
in.
me.
You should see all of this stuff over here. This is way fancier than we've ever been. So this is super technical. Normally it's just.
I promise I didn't shirt coordinate with Corey today.
There we go.
Oh, man. I told
There we
him,
go.
I said, if I walked in and he had a TKM shirt, I was walking back out.
Yeah. Last week we both ended up like he walked in the house and I had my Limpy shirt on and he's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Hey, it happens." And so thankfully I could change.
We just so happen to have the same color one on too.
There we go.
Now, is yours the nitrous or the turbo one?
Oh, come on.
I don't really know.
Cornbread
I got
might
it
be
with
the
my
nitrous
engine.
one,
I've
so
actually-
That's what I got.
I got it with my engine. I've actually never even wore it. I kind of forgot I had it until I was looking through my closet a while ago.
Very nice. That's one of those expensive shirts.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. I've got a couple of those.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's all good, man. I love my motors from TKM. They've done well for me.
Oh man, you can't ask for anything better from them guys.
I know we talked about it a little bit there at Digger Dice, just the simple communication from them. I know everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen a little bit of like the Mike Lau drama that happened on Turbo Bullet and all that stuff that happened this week. Every motor shop is going to have their problems, but of all the motor shops I've used, just the communication that they have with you and the My Shop app, it just makes everything so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. And my shop app is perfect for them and the customer also because for one, they're not getting phone calls every day of, hey,
Right.
what's the update on this? What's the update on that? And then the customer, you literally get to see everything. You get to see the person that puts their hands on whatever they're doing. They
Yep.
put, every tolerance, every clearance, everything in that app,
Oh, yeah.
and you can just log on and look at it. It's crazy.
I love it. It's definitely awesome. And then, like, I know for me, like, if I see, most of the time they would message me beforehand. But if I see that they're, like, needing something, I can shoot them a message or an email and give them a call and be like, do I need to send this to you? Or y'all got this? Is it taken care of? And, like, most of the time I don't have to do that. But I can sit there and say, oh, we're waiting on push rods. Oh, we're waiting on this gasket or this rings or whatever. And like you said, it just takes the guesswork out of it, makes it much better.
Yeah, absolutely. They gained a lifelong customer with me with the first engine, and I'll never be shopping anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. They're great, man. Kevin and Sammy and Cornbread, all of them are great. It definitely is a different engine experience from a lot. There's a lot of promises made with, companies, and I know for them, usually they've been waiting on me more than anything, and that's not usual. Normally you're just like sitting there waiting on your engine to be done, but for them, I know the first motor, they were waiting on me to get parts because they had already finished their part, and I'm like, that's not normal.
Yeah, that happened with me actually. I forget exactly what it was, but they were waiting on me to send them something, and I didn't even realize it until I logged in. I'm like, wow, they're waiting on me. I'm not waiting on them.
Yep. Same thing happened with my first motor. We were waiting on a crank and the stock block motor, and then this last, I forget. I had forgot to send my because I wanted them to do the whole long block, and I had forgot to send them my rockers and a bunch of different things. So they were just waiting on me. So
And
it
that's how I
happens though.
did. I'm mechanically inclined enough. I could put my own motor together. I have before, but when it's when they pay that much attention to detail, if they have their hands on part of it, then I feel like they should have their hands on the whole thing. That way, I feel like that's where a lot of engine shops get a bad rep. People buy a short block and then they buy top end and they hodgepodge all the stuff together, and something doesn't work right. Well, the engine builder is always the first one to get blamed for it.
Exactly. Exactly. Like for me, I sort of know how to do the oh god, like your valve train geometry and setting the push rod length that you need and all that stuff. And I thought I did on the first motor, and it was okay. It was okay. But whenever I sent, I forget what we had. I think I had some valves get tulipped due to a tune issue or something like that. And when they went back over it, they wanted a different set of push rods in it because they weren't happy with the valve train geometry. Little stuff like that that could end up biting you in the butt. Now, I would rather, if I'm going to spend that much money, spend a little bit more money and have it 100% when I get it. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%.
That's awesome. So, um, which I know I met you for the first time at Digger Die back in July. I think is right, correct.
Yes.
It was
Yep.
hotter than blue blazes. That was
Yeah, that's about my favorite event, but I don't think you're going to catch me there in July again.
no man.
That's the truth.
God, I remember when I got back in my car, like I was having to put my gloves on to touch the steering wheel. I was like, this is ridiculous. That was
Yeah,
nuts.
I got in my car. I forget. I think it was on Saturday, and they told me to get in and get ready. And I sat there waited for about 15, 20 minutes on a guy. And I'm usually the type that I'll give anybody any amount of time that they need to get ready. And one of the, I think it was Kenson came up to me and said, "Hey, he's going to be about another 30 minutes, but he's not even sure if he's going to be able to get it done." And I'm like, does he think he's going to get it done, or does he think he might not? He's like, "Well, he thinks he might not." I'm like, "Man, I can't sit here. No, no, I can't keep sitting here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and go." And I felt bad about that, but man, that heat when you're in a suit, and you're in a car, it's almost unbearable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on another level of hot. I do think that contributed to me losing the motor that weekend. But yeah, I said the same thing. I don't know about that end of July, beginning of August Digger Die. It is
And
it was
December
bad.
was the exact
Yeah,
opposite.
Yeah.
yeah,
But you made
absolutely.
now your car made a really good showing. I mean, it was Wheelie
It was
King.
the show.
That's for sure. At this last
Unfortunately,
one.
all it was a show.
Well, I mean, he showed a preview of the
Well,
passes from it.
Austin did try to top you.
And he
Yes,
did.
he did.
That's normal for Austin. It's not normal for my heavy turd.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
When you came by me in that lane that I was filming in, and you were about to touch back bumper, I was like, "Please God, don't pirouette towards me. Please God, don't pirouette towards me."
Well, everybody keeps it. I've seen a couple people comment, a couple racers, just typical saying stuff, but they're all like, I see all this hype about your wheelies, but I don't see you in the split. I'm like, yeah, no, because I didn't go there to do wheelies. Obviously, I'm not going to drive 13 and a half hours of quote unquote put on a show, because that's not what, it's not what we wanted to do. But we made a bunch of changes to the car, and we turned it down and pulled 120 pounds out between first and second round, and then did a worse wheelie second round. So that's
That's
when we really
crazy.
started scratching our heads.
That must have, which I wasn't able to be there, but that must have been a much different surface
Oh,
than
it's
what
came
it was
around a
before.
ton. It's came around a ton.
Oh yeah, way different than in July.
That's
night and
crazy.
day difference.
Yeah, I mean, I have a picture right in front of my desk right now of my car smoking at 300 foot. So big difference.
Well, and that's
Big
why
difference.
we was so confused because when we were in there in July, my car and Andrew Blanton's car, they're when we put my car together, we based it exactly off of his, so we could try to utilize two cars for two different sets of data, and that's exactly what we got accomplished. But me and him was losing the tire every pass at about the 150-foot mark, and we kept fighting it and kept fighting it, and then Andrew wasn't able to go the last time I went down there, and it rode a wheelie. So we was like, you know what, we went too far here with something. We got to figure out what it was, and the weight
Right.
weight bias was the same. It was literally just a shock and tuning adjustment, and it the surface had a lot to do with it, but still, it was still pretty impressive to go from where we were to what we ended up with there.
Yeah, that surface is so crazy too because let's say you tighten 2 clicks on the front shock, and that surface is so weird that the next pass with that being that tight, it may have smoked the tire. It's so weird.
Absolutely,
It's just you got to be right on
absolutely,
that
and
razor's edge.
yeah. So from first round to second round, sorry, I got to plug in the phone charger here. From first round to second round, uh, it's kind of crazy. I ended up pulling 240 pounds out and tightening the shocks. If I remember right, 14 clicks from where we started at in first round, and the wheelies kept getting worse.
Wow, that's insane, really. I mean, which on the second, or not second, but at that third, it would have been the third pass, and I think you had, is it Logan Duvall? Is that who
Yeah,
you had to run?
yeah, Logan.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it was Logan
that's
Duvall.
a killer car. I mean, that's a super super fast car, no matter. And even though they haven't done a lot of backtrack,
Absolutely.
of course, just watching it, I feel like just a little pedal flutter just half second earlier, and that would have been neck and neck pop.
I've replayed that in my mind 1,000 times because Logan and the Prestons, everywhere they go, they have their stuff together. So to beat somebody like that, I was super excited to be able to try to, and man, I was watching him the whole time out my window, and I saw I had about a fender on him, and I'm like, I got this. About that time, it started power wheeling, and I'm like, man, we're here 150 foot out. There ain't no way it's going to go to the bumper this far out. I'm just going to stay in it, and as soon as it got to that point, I felt it, and I'm like, okay, I've got to blip the throttle. And I thought, well, what if it keeps riding it out? But about that time, I heard and felt the bumper drag, and that's when I had to blip it. And I've watched that video. I'm like, man, if I was about half a second, a couple tenths sooner on the throttle blip, I felt like it would have rode it out, and it would have been great. But yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's one of those rough ones when you go back and look where you feel like you had it won. That sucks, but I mean it was making some licks, that's for sure. I know nobody likes, we like wheelies for pictures and videos. We don't like them for the wins. But man, it on that surface, you'd rather be riding a wheelie than blowing the tires off for the 600 foot. So
And you did make
most
the
people don't
thumbnail
realize
for
that
Spoold.
either. Yeah, I've never even came close to doing any type of wheelie on that surface yet. So, yeah.
Well, and the real crappy part was is I had a low dollar ride height sensor that I ordered, and I was gonna, because we've been dabbling a little bit of front side stuff around here, and I wanted to put a ride height sensor on the front and create a timing pull for the the ride height sensor. And right before we was getting ready to leave, I'm like, this is my last thing to do. I need to do it. And I thought, no, there ain't no way I'm going to need it down there. And I didn't even put it on. So I literally had the sensor sitting there, which I felt like would have put me in the split for sure. And yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda, I guess.
Yeah, that's tough, man. You always get parts like the day that you need to leave or something. I always have that happen. I feel like shipping gets delayed or whatever the case may be. I order it too late and stuff comes in at the very last minute. And I'd rather not scramble. I'm bad about scrambling and rushing and not testing things and trying to just wing it, and it doesn't work out.
You test?
No.
I know.
No, that's the problem.
In fact, when you were talking about scrambling, I forget which race you were trying to get ready for, but I remember the last time I scrambled and tried to put a bunch of stuff together in a time, short time frame is when I actually wrecked the car. Went the front side here local, and it's funny. Me and my wife and Andrew and Liz, we were at a wedding, and he's like, are we going to stay for the reception? I'm like, man, I really want to go, go to our local track and make a hit. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be there in the car's not set up for it. So why don't we just wait? Because we go everywhere together. And I'm like, no, it'd be fine. I looked at, my wife Kelly, and I said, you think we should go? And she's like, well, I don't think so, but if you want to go, let's go. So I had like an hour to spare. And so I drove all the way home as fast as I could, hooked up to the trailer, drove all the way there as quickly as I could, and made a shock adjustment in the parking lot because I pulled out my weight and realized ride height went up like 6 inches, and it was sitting like this, and I was like, that ain't going to work. So I did a shock adjustment, and just me and Andrew kind of went over a tune, and I was like, that'll work, and went up there and let off the button, and again it power wheelied all about to 330. And it was on my by run, and I set it down, and I'm like, I'm way in the center of the track. I need to get out of it, and I'm smart enough to know I need to get out of it for whatever reason. I was like, well, there's the finish line cone, and I'm like, and I'm really good friends with the guy that owns our track, and I knew if I would hit that cone, the center foam cone, that he'd give me all kinds of crap by hitting it on a by run. So I stayed in it and tried to veer to the right. As soon as I went across the finish line, it just lost the tire and put me right on the wall, and I went through the traps at 142 or 141 and hit the wall right at the traps. But it was almost real bad, but thankfully it wasn't. I was able to I didn't overcorrect it by turning to the left enough to let it slide, and I turned into the wall instead of turning away from it, luckily, and just drove straight off the wall. But yeah, that was a hard lesson learned. Don't rush. If you got to rush, it ain't worth it.
That's it. I thought he was about to say, luckily he didn't hit the cone. I was like, dang.
No, but that was going through my mind. I'm like, I can't hit this cone on a by run. I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, man. Oh, that sucks. Which, I mean, you've already got it back together. It turned out not to be that rough, right?
Well, so it wasn't that bad, but the whole right side of the car was taken out. In fact, I had to have my good buddy Terry put a quarter on it, and then Andrew just got done rewrapping everything yesterday, I believe.
Nice.
And now it's back at our it's at
just
our buddy Eric Pope's.
Though, thankfully.
Yeah, just cosmetic, man. It didn't knock the rear end out. It didn't bend an A-arm. It bent Andrew's exhaust he just made for me that was all pretty, so I had to hear about that one.
Dang. After him telling you not to go, that sucks, man.
Yeah, he wasn't very happy about the exhaust. Oh, absolutely. It's funny because my mom and dad were there, so I really only needed to make one phone call to somebody that wasn't at the track. So I called Andrew, and my first words were, "I'm okay, but I wrecked my car." And he did typical Andrew reaction and told me, he made sure I was all right, but he said, "That was stupid."
Oh, man.
I can hear him saying that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
In other words, you know how Andrew is.
That sucks. But that a lot of racers rush, and I'm one of them. And I did avoid rushing this last race, and just there's too many
That's
things
smart, in my
playing
opinion.
against us. Just too many things, and something like that could happen. And then, thankfully, it wasn't worse for you. Like you said, 142, just a split second of something else, and the whole car could have been gone.
Yeah.
So that is.
Oh, if it would have been just a little more angled towards the wall, the way I hit the wall, it'd have caught the front stub and broke the motor plates. It would have been terrible and probably rolled if it would have hit that hard on the corner. But luckily, I was able to kind of slide into the wall inside, and it was definitely one of those. I've always been the type that like you can't hurt me or I can't get hurt, and I'm not scared and I'll drive it no matter what. And then that taught me, like, hey, it ain't worth trying to look like a hero in front of everybody, so don't try to do that no more.
I gotcha. Yeah, and that's at some crazy speed too. Like the backside stuff, you're not going that crazy. It's a little different. Going 150, 100 and whatever at that point, that's where stuff really starts to get messed up. That's for sure.
Yeah, that rattled my cage. I won't. The front side stuff, if it gets loose at all past a 330, I'm just gonna lift. It ain't worth it to me.
Yeah, I mean, we used to do, or I mean, we used to watch a lot of the radio stuff. I know Corey did a lot of radio promoting, and a lot. I couldn't. I mean, when at lights out and all the Georgia races, you'd see the moment that you could predict when the guys were going to wreck. If they knocked the tire off at the 300 and they tried to get back on it, the tire couldn't recover, and they'd put it into the wall almost every time. It was
Absolutely.
like clockwork.
That's the rule of thumb in rail racing. If it breaks loose, just lift.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
try.
And we see it.
No, there ain't no point in it.
Where, like you said, it was a buy run. I mean, the worst wreck, we were there 20 minutes later, but one of the worst wrecks that we've ever seen was the Tyler DeSantis wreck down there in Charlotte.
Yes.
It was on a test pass. You gotta know when to lift. That's for sure.
That video was scary, and that goes to show he's probably one of the top drivers too. He street races, he races on a lot of skinny roads, and just goes to show you anything can happen, no matter how good you are.
Absolutely, and that's why safety and good brakes and chutes and all that stuff. When you've got a car that's the caliber of a lot of these cars now, you got to have that stuff up to par. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and that's something that I've always took very serious. And there's things that Andrew gets on to me about, not being serious about, but that's one thing that, me and him, I've always told him, I've always been real adamant on safety and like shoot, he hates packing his chute, so he's always trying to leave the pin, and I'm like, pull that pin out. Your car's too fast for all
that. Sounds
that.
like somebody I know.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same way. I've got to learn to not be that way. Which is funny. I watched that YouTube video of Jackie and Big Chief, and he sort of explained why they throw the chute every time, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, why not do that every single time and have that muscle memory of pulling that chute every time? I mean, it's pretty dumb to be driving a car that's multiple $1000s and all of your hard work put into it, and because you don't want to spend 10 minutes packing a chute, you could end up without it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll normally I throw it unless it's at like Rockingham, which you really have no reason in throwing it because you've got half a mile of shutdown anyway. You're not going crazy fast there, but anywhere else I throw it every time. Yeah, exactly.
It's bad.
Unless you're me and Andrew. When me and him drew each other in July, I think it was semifinal for the big tire, and me and him drew each other, and I swear we raced 900 foot before either one of us let out because we were both wanting to throw the chute on each other. And the funny thing was, he kept trying to throw it on me, and it wouldn't throw because I think the cable got tied up in the string, but his wouldn't throw at all.
Oh my gosh. That's the kind of friends. It sounds like the kind of friends that you need to have, though, to keep you pushing the right direction. That's for sure.
No, absolutely, and it's just like tuning. I've learned so much from him, and like he's learned from other people, and we just take what knowledge we do have, and we come together, and usually we can get close on a tune no matter what, and he's one of the most talented fabricators I've ever seen. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of his stuff, and he doesn't even do it full time. He just does it on his car and mine or some other little projects. But when it comes to fabricating, he's talented.
That's awesome. That's friends like that are they're really important to racing. Like you said, I mean, the one time he doesn't go with you, you end up having issues, and I've had guys like that where it's a pretty important part of your whole program.
Yeah. Well, and my wife, she tries to be as big a part of the program as she can, but we have two little children, and so it's kind of hard for her to be up there on the line. And
Yep.
in fact, when we were at Rockingham, she poured the puddle, and the burnout box at Rockingham can get a little wild sometimes. So she actually had to leave our kids on a golf cart, and luckily, I forget, somebody's wife actually ended up watching our kids for us so she could help every time. But racing with two little kids, it's tough.
Oh, it is absolutely, man. I'm in the same exact predicament. I've got a 6-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and yeah,
KD.
yeah, we won't get into that, but it is very difficult. But yeah, it's also nice to have them there, and it's not as fun. That's for
She
sure.
tries to get she tries to get me to go without her, and I'm like, it's not even, doesn't even sound interesting to me. If my family's not there, I'm not into it.
That's awesome. That'll go a long way, and those kids will remember that. They may, sometimes kids don't like stuff that they're doing at the time, but when they get older, they'll realize how important that was. That's
Oh, absolutely. That's how I was raised, and I remember every bit of that. So I hope
yeah,
that they do too.
absolutely. That's like taking my little boy with me because he's a little older, and then the wife keeps the little one, which she's now getting older, and she'll be able to go with us now. But whenever I'm not able to take him, man, it's he's hard to deal with. That's for sure. He's constantly trying to get merch off of somebody.
You better have stickers around.
Stickers, that's for sure. But then when you don't go with them, you're like, what? What's this? It feels different, and not in a good way. Like it's just not as.
I mean, he's been cool having around even on the last 2 times just doing media.
Yeah, he's awesome, and having your kids
That's
and family
awesome.
there makes a big difference. I know some people can do like completely separate themselves from their family when they go, and I agree with you. It's so much. It's more enjoyable, big time, to do it with your family.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say that's the only downfall to me about backside racing. I love it. I love the sport. I love everybody surrounding it. But we don't have a lot of stuff for the kids. It's all so. Once everybody gets there, it's fast paced, and nobody likes to take breaks. And I really wish that they would integrate, some type of heads up, try to do like an age break heads up junior dragster class, because a lot of these tracks we go to, they're concrete walls anyway, so it'll be safe for them.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking about doing
just
something like that at Darlington, but I got told with the insurance and all that on the backside, it's bad. You can't do it.
no,
Yeah.
I understand that.
Well,
But I would say that's the only downfall to what we do, though.
well, do power wheels. I mean, the amount of, and a lot of these promoters, I'm sure you've seen it. You throw a power wheels race in, and you will have aunts and uncles and granddads and
Oh, absolutely.
out the yin yang coming there. They could give a crap less about drag racing, but they hear that their little one is going to be, racing of some kind. It's like pee-wee basketball and stuff like that, and they are going to come out in droves to see them. So I think it's smart to add stuff like that. I know Bill Hoskinson, them, whenever they would do their Midnight Madness, one of their big things was the big wheels races. And, man, they had people, they would have 30 or 40 kids there doing that stuff. So it's definitely, I agree. And one thing, too, that is a little separate but similar is kids' merch. My little kid loves merch. If you do a kid-size shirt, I guarantee you I'm spending money while I'm at your booth or whatever it is.
Same.
Turbo John made a lot off of him.
Yeah, man. I bet you we have spent $200 or $300 with Turbo John and merch easily. It's not even a question. So that type of stuff, I did, and make a shirt that doesn't have a ton of cuss words on it, like
Exactly.
so that I can send my kid to school or basketball or whatever.
He's singling out Chris from Stripper Glare right now because he
No.
can't send him a Stripper Glare shirt.
Yeah, So that's the future of the sport there, though. is those little ones. So if you don't incorporate them, they there's definitely a downfall for sure.
Absolutely. And you know that, just like you said, you bring just a Power Wheels race, and that's 2 to 3 more gate fees you're going to take in that day. So there's 30 to $50 just off one person.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of downtime at a lot of these backtrack races that you don't have. Like, you can't just send a bunch of test and tuners through, and you do something like that, and you're going to have a lot of people involved, and I think it's definitely a smart thing to add for sure. And
That is one of my biggest pet peeves anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is buy runs in between rounds at a big money race. I've seen it. I've seen a buy run oil down the track one time, and I've never understood that.
No, I don't understand running anything until the finals are in.
Correct. After that, it's free game, but
Absolutely. If it's another class, I get it. But if you run like a grudge race in between rounds, I think it's because a lot of time it's a fake grudge race and they're just doing it for
all this to get data.
Yeah, and I get it. If it's allowed, absolutely do your thing, but don't be surprised if somebody oils it down or ruins it for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's.
And as Kendall says, all them LSs rolling down the track for him.
Boy, yeah, that was a pretty bad one.
I knew at that moment when it went by and I seen the death cloud and the piece of piston still on the track. I was like, we're done.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, there wasn't no cleaning that up.
No, that was a rough one. And another safety thing, stick a diaper on it. Just,
I agree.
I mean,
I agree. I have a diaper that I've had new since my engine got back from TKM, and I still haven't put it on, but I agree. At least I have one.
I gotta say the only reason that I put a diaper on is because I had an oil pan that was leaking, and so I had to put it on. So I stuck mine on. That's the only reason. They're definitely a pain, but man, like when I let my rod go, I didn't know that I had blown anything up. I mean, I assumed, but there was no oil trail. It caught absolutely everything, and it made me a firm believer that I'll put a engine diaper on mine every time, because it really, I could have put my car in a ditch and went end over end easily if I wouldn't have had a diaper on it. I mean, it wouldn't have been nothing to really tear the car up. So again, just
absolutely.
And I need a fire suppression. I don't have fire suppression either. I've got to get that on there. So
yeah, it's funny. I tell everybody the only reason I don't have the engine diaper is because TKM built my engine, which it's kind of funny, but it's really not. I should still have one on there.
There you go.
I think there's a lot of them are now switching the rules. They're going to start taking on that. They're going to look
for I don't blame them.
I don't blame them. I mean, look, they you had a whole race shut down for it, and I really like the guys.
Yeah.
Adam Harnish and Mitch and them, they're good dudes.
Nothing negative at all.
They would have never meant to do that, obviously, but
no.
It's yeah, and I'm not picking on them by any means. I know they pick on themselves about it, but I mean, the whole race got shut down, and you finally had the weather to finish it, so it does suck in that aspect for sure.
Well, and what we do in the type of surfaces we do it on, it's so hard to clean up anything that gets spilt on the surface because the asphalt's so separated and it goes down in the cracks. Right. So it's literally almost impossible to clean something up. So the engine diaper rule, I firmly believe that should be a rule for everybody.
Absolutely, unless it's like a DD class, like a daily driver.
Mm-hmm.
If you're pushing limits at all, if it's a heads up class, I feel like you should definitely have an engine diaper on it. I mean, $120, $150.
I'm laughing at the comment.
What is it?
Say it's not so.
Yeah. That was a big topic
Oh, for a few days.
for Shady Side, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big thing with me. I'm always pushing safety. Like, I know how the no prep guys are. I'm not going to be killer on them, but at the same time, when you come through the line, I'm checking for this stuff because I've got a great cleanup crew. Don't get me wrong; they can get that stuff cleaned up quick. But it's more about if it pops and that goes under your tires, and then you're in a while, your car's done. This is insurance for you, not just for the track.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the other racer too, because they could have every safety thing there is and be on top of everything, and then it take one bad apple can ruin a whole orchard sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you get into your own oil, and then you could wreck into the other guy, and it can be a mess.
And
That's
this is
for
the
sure.
promoter coming out in me, but it's like I hear about these races where they're self-teching, like they depend the racers to tech on each other. I hate that. I'd rather
Yeah,
just do the
that's
tech and have a true official look at
yep. I
I
agree.
ain't no snitch.
it.
Hey, next
Well,
time I'm at a
I can't say that. I can't say that. That guy ran Joey. That was all-wheel drive. At
I was
the
about
one
to say,
bigger
I was going to
dive.
let you say it, but I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, and you weren't supposed to have all-wheel drive, and I'd let them get all the way through the burnout before I said something.
Oh
I
my
guess I can.
gosh.
I guess I can.
He's over there with the big finger. That guy! That guy!
Yeah. I was like, what happened to the all-wheel drive rule?
He's saying that because the race before
Oh,
he
that's
got
funny.
spanked by all-wheel drive pretty bad.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. There was a rule change, and I said, if I was going to F by that rule last time, I'm going to make sure that we have this rule enforced this time. That's exactly right. Yeah, F you, Debo.
Is your car all good for next weekend?
Oh, what's next weekend? No.
Darlington's
What's
next
next weekend?
weekend, right?
Which one?
Darlington
What's
is
going on?
next weekend, right?
I think there's one. No, my car, I've got to, well, actually, I wrecked my truck and trailer. So I'm waiting on my truck to come back, and then I've got to repair my trailer, and then I'll be taking it down to Kevin and them to go back over the tune. So it'll be a couple more weeks at least. So, but
I'm ready to see it
sort of
back
ready
out.
to go. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's been a little bit of a experience trying to get back together, but it is what it is. Thankfully, it's getting,
Always is.
yeah. Everything fights me. It seems you name it. When I go to order stuff, stuff comes in wrong, and it's not on me. It's whoever the supplier. Now the one thing was my fault with the intercooler. Yeah, I didn't take the cardboard off the bottom of the new intercooler, and yeah, I thought that the whole motor was bad. It was a
No comment.
bad ordeal. No good. No good.
That's why you shouldn't have one of those intercoolers.
Well, after looking at some things and doing some calculations and stuff, I probably will run this setup this year, hopefully, and I'm gonna start preparing to do something that I said I probably would never do, and that's buy some billet atomizers and throw some M1 at it eventually.
I've been on
That's
about
what
that
I
for a
did
while.
last winter, and that's what I did last winter, and man, I sure don't regret it. Cable drive, you don't have to worry about no fuel pump relay going bad or fuel pump locking up. Yeah, you still got your mechanical components that can go wrong, but it's so nice not having to worry about all that stuff.
I am contributing a sticky note on your dash that says "Turn on the intercooler."
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about that because I forget how I'm gonna have that.
I just know
have
my
that wired
personal
up.
experience with water to air, so I'm just spreading the good advice to you.
Yeah, after I looked at it and there's really not much of a difference in cost. It's because like your difference is what is it? You have to have the drums of fuel if you do M1 and stuff like that. But other than that, you got to go and buy ice and keep ice chests and all that stuff. So it's sort of the same
We
type
did
of thing.
this
When?
with my old car.
Oh, that's been so long ago. I don't even barely remember that.
All the
That's been
20
forever.
bags of ice, the ice chest, all that good stuff.
It's a pain.
Yeah, I will. He knows how much I don't like to do stuff like that. I like to just go race. So that, who knows how short lived it may be. I don't know. I don't know.
I give him till June, and everything from ethanol will be on order.
And I can't fit my hood now. That's also unfortunate.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
fit
so
it,
everybody
cut
can
it.
make fun of you like they make fun of me.
Exactly. Yeah.
He could fit the hood. He can cut
We-
it. He just won't.
My God, that'd be a giant hole. Like, I ain't doing all that. I'm
So
not
the
bad
only
with
reason
that
I don't
hood.
have one is because you can't hardly find a carbon or fiberglass hood, as you know, for a
Yeah.
fair amount of flat hood. And I've got a bubble hood sitting there, but just like first round at Rockingham, I literally it powered wheelie, but it wheelied to the point where it's controllable and I could stay in it. But I had to pull myself had to take my hand and pull myself up over the steering wheel. I was able to see the center line of the track. I knew right when to lift. If I'd had the bubble hood on, there ain't no way I could have seen anything.
Well, when you came by me second round, we made eye contact for a second, and I seen you staring through the grill.
That's exactly how I was driving too.
Here you go. We're gonna end up doing like some of the wheelie cars with like a plexiglass see-through thing in the floorboard so you can see.
Danger to manifold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Now a ride high sensor is going to fix all that stuff, unfortunately.
There you
So
go.
that shouldn't happen anymore.
Hey, put that on your shopping list, because you were doing some killer wheelies at KD.
Man, the problem with seeing everybody doing different things is I realized like I've got to go Dominator because I want all the data, and
I'm just thinking about that post.
I've got to go. I've got to put a Dominator in it. That's just all there is to it. It's just because then I've heard problem with the I/O modules. If Ed's on here, I saw him say something about not liking that new. I don't know what you call it. The can module or something like that.
The can, the can module. That's what I was going to do before I went Dominator, and I was kind of tossed up either way, but I kind of put pencil and paper, and by the time I sold my HP instead of buying the can module, then I wouldn't be that much further money behind just buying a Dominator.
That's where I'm at. I mean, I think that's probably going to be the best bet. And somehow I had my wife convinced that, like, she said that anything that has to do with me being safer in the car, she said, I'm never going to say anything to you about spending money on it. I was like,
Oh, Dominator definitely makes you safer.
Exactly. I'll make sure we have that deal with like where the chutes come out if it does a certain type of pitch and all that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's it. That she is super supportive of that type of stuff. So thankfully, I don't have somebody just bitching at me all the time about cars. So she's great about that.
It'd be hard to do it if you had somebody that was like that. That's for sure.
There's no way, man. I know you would agree. If you had somebody that all the time didn't want you going or all the time had something to say something bad about it, there's just no way it wouldn't work. It's just impossible.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's so. So, what are some events that you're wanting to hit up this year?
I guess it's the 9th. We're going to Darlington. Then I believe there's a race in, I think it was Virginia, the Stick Shift Wars. I think that was in Virginia. I don't know if you guys. Yeah, we're thinking about going out there. We're gonna take the summer off. I don't think we're gonna race winter and then race winter again. But we're not gonna race during the summer because every good backside race is down in the Carolinas. For us, there's nothing close at all. The closest one is probably Indiana. So the closest backside race we have is 4.5 to 5 hours away. And it's so damn hot in the summertime around here, and
Gotcha.
especially around the Carolinas.
Yeah, it's
It's not that it's hot in the Carolinas, it's the humidity that gets you.
The humidity, exactly right.
well, you can call it
But
whatever
no,
you
we
want
plan on
It's hot.
we'd like to race every weekend if we had an event, that we could make it to every weekend. So we plan on racing a bunch this year. We learned a lot last year, and I felt like we learned a lot, at Rockingham about what the car is like. And we went out and tested again with Andrew's car with that exact tune, and other than a wheelie, it replicated what my car did. So every time we go out, we keep knocking, half a tenth,
Wait a minute. Here you go,
and
Jordan.
we're just chipping away at it. Yeah. Need some more of them.
That's right, cornbread.
I know. I need a couple more cornbread.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm an
down there.
XL
sure
in
I'll
case
get
you were
one.
wondering.
Heck yeah.
But
So-
yeah, we're just, because me and Andrew, we've only been backside racing for about a year now.
Right.
I just bought my car a year and a half ago, and I came from diesel racing. And I say that I had more problems than I had anything in that career.
I got you.
But that's where I came from, and I was a bracket racer before that. So everything we're doing is all new to us. So we've taken a lot of stuff.
You're good.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was what I was gonna ask, was sort of like how you got into it. I knew that you purchased the car and different things, and I didn't know if you had done anything like that beforehand, and sort of what got you into it.
Yeah, so I my parents owned the sand drags here local, and it went on for probably 40, 50, 60 years here, and we eventually sold it to one of my mom and dad's good friends that made it our asphalt track here locally. So I grew up, at 300-foot sand drags, doing bracket racing and a little bit of heads-up racing there, and then switched over to diesel stuff. Did that for a while. Realized I couldn't afford it to run at the level I wanted to run at. So
Gotcha.
sold it. I bracket raced before the diesel. We bracket raced here local. My grandpa had a Malibu that I raced, and did that for a few years. And then found this car after I sold all the diesel stuff. Waited about a year and a half. Sold our trailer. Just kind of taking some time off because it took a lot of money and energy, and it wiped us clean really of all of that for about a year and a half. And finally decided I was going to buy something, and then that Fairmont got posted on Turbo Bullet, and it was on there for, I want to say, like 12 minutes. And I messaged him. I said, do you still have it? He said, yes. So I put my phone number. Luckily, he called me, and I gave him a deposit over the phone, but apparently everybody was blowing his phone up. And if I would have waited any longer, I probably wouldn't end up buying it. But
I remember that.
I've always loved Fairmonts. Yeah.
I'm banned off Turbo Bullets.
I've always loved Fairmonts. Yeah. Fairmonts and Malibus have always been my two favorite cars, and when that one popped up, I was like, man, that's it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the guy did a great job, and man, I don't think he ever did any. I think it was literally like built it, and like you got it really after that. I don't think it ever made.
Yeah,
he
he raced.
did it?
I'm sure you guys have heard that Hinton street races that they have there in
Yeah.
Hinton, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think so. He actually took it out once and won that event with the car.
Huh.
And then I bought it. He works out of town and didn't have a lot of time to devote to it. And it was sitting there more than anything. So when I bought it, it's pretty much a complete different car now, other than the shell and the rear end,
Right.
because it had some single adjustable strange 10 weights on the front. It was the stock block 60 88. It was totally different setup, but
Right.
the car, and the guy that built the car and the cage, man, he did a phenomenal job on it.
Yeah, that was definitely like the nice factors about that car was the chassis. They had done a really good job on that, and the body. I don't think you changed much up until later, right? Like it. Was
Correct.
The same color?
Yeah. No, the body. So it was always wrapped gray. The original color is actually the same color as your car. It's the eggshell or baby blue, whatever you want to call it.
Heck yeah.
And I actually had planned on taking the wrap off at some point and going back to that color, and then I wiped the quarter and door out. So now if I pull the wrap off, all I've got is a flat black door and quarter, and then yellow fender and blue everything else.
I gotcha. That's Yeah, I'd say finding those fenders. I can't find any fiberglass fenders, that's for sure. Not any
No, you
decent
can't
ones.
find any. No, not at all. Doors, can't find nothing for them.
No, I know, can't get any doors, any at all. Like that's just not possible. Somebody were to make some, I feel like they could make money. I could be wrong, but there's a lot of those cars coming out now that are looking for those type of parts.
Well, in Glass Tech, I called them up a few months ago. I'm sure you see me make the post in one of our Fairmont pages, but they told me if I could get 5 orders together, they would do a mold and do a run on them. So I've got 6 people together and called them, and I can't get a return phone call. I've left a couple messages telling them, hey, I got this, and nothing. They ghosted me.
Dang. So they just thought that nobody would want it. So putting that out there, they
That's
were like,
crazy.
he'll never get back in touch with us. That sucks.
Exactly.
That
I
sucks.
know.
I know there's like
But I'm sure
one.
as popular as we're getting,
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I'm sure as popular as we're getting, there's going to be somebody. I believe Nathan Broom talked about. He told me if I could get him a flat hood that he would do a mold and do a hood, but he said it'd be several months out, and he said the same thing with doors. But he lives in Michigan, and I think it's Michigan. And I don't have a hood, and I don't have a perfect set of doors that just go leave him. So I guess I'll have to try to work on that a little bit. But
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of different people. I know the one Malone guy, he passed away, and he had a bunch of molds for a lot of stuff for these cars. And I forget who
yes,
ended up getting them, either the Plimptons or I forget what the whole story is. But like he had fender molds and things of that nature, and a bunch of different stuff. And they sort of just disappeared once he passed away. That was pretty much the end. Which I know the Robert Walker guy does the bumpers and sort of the typical
yep.
bumper hood and back deck and stuff like that. But even he, I don't think really wants to tackle the door situation.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's a lot of work that goes into it, and it's not as simple as just making a mold once and being able to make them. But I sure wish somebody would put a little effort into it because I know they'd be sellers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
those are becoming a lot more common. I mean, they made those cars as your daily drivers, and there's a bunch of them out there. So, but it's hard to get people to do much of anything nowadays if it's not less
It
like
really
their
is.
car. So
I tell you, I would definitely like to have a Fairmont RC body.
that would be so easy too. Just a square.
Yeah, if you didn't know,
Yeah.
gentlemen, I'm obsessed with RC drag racing now. So
Oh, I know. I think
Yes,
that stuff's super cool myself.
it's definitely interesting. That's for sure. It's a something. So, do you have any planned updates for the car or anything like that? Like you said, you're not gonna really tackle it too much this summer. Which, with as hot as it's been, I don't blame you whatsoever.
I say we
It's
won't race this summer. We'll probably end up racing every weekend in the summer, just like we did last year, and I'll just keep complaining about it. But
it's it.
I said that
no,
That's
about
it.
man, the
weekend too.
car
I was
is
gonna take at least one weekend off.
the car's really where I want it. I did the 388 Power Glide. It's the converters spec perfect. Pete spec'd it for me before he left Hughes and went to Circle D. I've never even had to touch the stator or tighten it up or loosen it.
Nice.
And we don't know enough yet to go changing a bunch of stuff before we get our combos we have now figured out and get a bunch of
Sure.
data for them. So in my mind, I know how much we've picked up just by keeping our combos and just keep trying different things with our combos, and that's what we're going to keep doing. I feel like consistency wins in the end, and we're getting to be where we can be consistent and go A to B no matter where we go, what road it is. We feel confident that we won't smoke the tire, and that's what wins 99% of first rounds at all these backside races is
Yep.
dead sticking the tire. You could be slow, but if you dead stick the tire, then more than likely you're in the second round and you have something to work off of.
Right.
Now, I
Right.
will say a good race for you will be Slugfest. Andrew came out to it last time. It's in Clay City. Their backside is the eighth to the core, so there's a little bit of rubber down, but it's still sketchy.
That was one. Yeah, that's one that we just talked about. How we want to go to that one this year too.
I'll be at all three.
That'll be a good one.
Well, we'll be there.
So what?
And that's what I.
You're
Go
good.
ahead.
Go ahead.
And that's what I love about our combos is with enough time on front side. My car, it's been mid 20s at 144, and we haven't spent any time on front side at all. So we have cars that'll run, in my opinion, run high fours on high fours on front side, and then we can go to the back side and compete too. And I feel like you can get too extreme with one or the other and not be able to compete in either. So where we're at right now, I think, is where I'm going to stay at least.
Yeah, I got you. It's hard to do both. Hard to be really good at both. But front side no prep is sort of all over the place too, just depending on what track you go to. I mean,
It really
have
is.
like KD where a mid 5 is flying, and or like Shady Side where you need to be in the 5.0 range to be competitive, if not faster, depending on how the surface is that day. It depends on the surface. I mean, some surfaces are just laser straight, and they're good after 2 burnouts.
And that's how our front sides are around here. A lot of the front side racers, small tire racers around here, they don't venture out much. So whatever front side races we do have, they already have it figured out where it's going to take, a 480 to 5.0 to win it. Where, to a guy that does, that goes and travels, it's hard to do that. It's hard to be that consistent on a track. We're not going there every weekend. We're not we're not making 4 or 5 hits and trying to, get data like they are. So it's kind of got to pick your poison of what you want to do. And like we went out, I guess it was end of last year. We went out to a front side and I was able to actually win it. Andrew, it's kind of funny. We went out for first round and Andrew was 3 pairs ahead of me. We both had the same tunes loaded in our cars and he smoked the tires. I was already strapped in the car because I was only 3 pairs behind him. So I knew he would probably make it up there. And sure enough, right before I was getting ready fired up, he comes sprinting with the laptop and turns it down just a little bit. And man, it was spot on. It went a mid 30 off the trailer, which was pretty good for us on front side. And but just that goes to show 2 cars with the same data. We knew exactly what to do with my car because he just spun in first round, and I actually ended up going on and winning the event.
That's it.
I've got a race for you. Here you go. Free entry too.
Yeah.
We'll be there. I think you already know that one.
Andrew got a free gate entry off of my the photo stuff I did over Christmas.
Yeah, I forgot what I got. I actually got the photos right here. I think I have what did you give me? I don't remember. Is it wrote on back for one of the pictures?
Yeah, it's right on the back of the stickers, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, it's somewhere right here.
So,
but yeah,
came from diesel stuff and like sand drags and that type of stuff. What, why no prep? Like, was there a specific thing, or what sort of drew you to it, or you can elaborate on that?
I wouldn't even say I bought the car specifically for no prep. I bought the car. I've honestly always wanted to go radial racing. I knew I could never really afford to do it competitively. I always wanted to try it. And when I bought that car, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go radial racing. This thing's gonna go 4s easily. And then as soon as I buy it, as soon as I start learning, I'm like, okay, it's not near that easy. Everybody can say that, but it's not. And then, me and Andrew, we've been friends since high school. And I noticed, he wasn't racing as much. And I was over there one day before I even bought my car. And I'm like, why don't you go racing more? And then he said, I don't know. I said, well, because you don't really have nobody to go with. I said, is that, you don't, it's always easier to do something when somebody else is into it and has a car too. And as soon as I bought my car, I'm like, here we go. Let's go. and
Nice.
it's been
That's
perfect
awesome.
ever since.
That's the same with me and him. My God, how long we been racing together now?
Oh yeah. I mean, just like with the family, when you have friends that are into it, I mean, I've went to very few races, and I say very few, probably none, that I didn't have friends either there or going with me. And that's when you realize that a lot of what you do is really just to hang out with your friends and have a good time. And sometimes you race and win, but most of the time it's really just to chill and hang out and learn and just have a good time with your friends. That's pretty awesome.
One of my most favorite part about going to the race is getting there and being able to cook the night before the race and hang out with everybody.
There you go. There you go.
And
That's
I
a
love
big time
races
part
like
of
that
it.
because when I'm doing tech and those plates of food start coming up, man, that's great.
Oh yeah.
Pass.
It's all about food, man. It's all about the food. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see here. Because I was gonna ask if you had any drag cars before the Fairmont. So you had like a drag truck.
Drag truck, and then had a 79 Malibu before the truck. That's what I bracket raced. Big tire.
Nice.
I think it ran. It wasn't fast by no means. It was a 590 60 car, but it was consistent. You know, that's all you really need in that deal.
But G-body Malibu, so that's freaking sweet.
No, absolutely. It's always been G body for me.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, which I saw you're pretty into some trucks.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's always been one of my biggest hobbies. Me, my wife and I, we own a trucking company, and then pickup trucks. I've especially old Ford pickup trucks. That's kind of, if you ask my wife, my downfall. That's it. I can't really pass up one, kind of like she can't pass up a stray dog on the side of the road.
I got you. I got you. That's awesome. I know I've seen some of those trucks are just absolutely gorgeous, which is funny because you posted a thing about Bigfoot, and I know some of your trucks sort of have that same. And dude, that is like my childhood in a nutshell.
Oh, that
is
Bigfoot truck
dude.
he's got, that's the, oh man, I love it.
Dude, Bigfoot was my monster truck, dude. Like that was
Like, that's the crazy thing. He's got a big
Bigfoot.
dump truck I love, and then Andrew's Mustang was like one of the main ones I followed on Instagram.
that's funny.
Man, it's hard for a Mustang to look different, and even before me and him were like best friends, I always said that, there's something about his car that just looks different to me. It doesn't look like every other Fox body on the property for whatever reason. I don't really even know what it is about it, but it just don't.
A lot of it is cleanliness. He keeps that sucker clean. I know when we
Yes, he
raced him
does.
at War in the
Ward-
Woods,
yeah.
he pretty much was like, "I'm getting too much dust on my car, and I'm not racing second round."
It's funny. I'm the same way. And after he sent me the video of driving up to the staging lanes with his car, I'm like, you'll never catch me there. It's because of that.
That was hilarious. I was like, "Wait, why is he not running? The dust?" I couldn't understand what was going on.
I don't know if you've seen a video of how bad his pit area was, but it was pretty terrible.
I saw somehow we ended up in like this.
We were in the spot
below.
you couldn't get out if you wanted to.
It was rough. It was rough getting in and out, that's for sure. But we didn't have to deal with the dust that was up there in that top field. It was crazy.
Yeah, he sent me a video of just driving up and his door was half open because the dust was coming inside the car. Man, it was terrible.
It was bad, that's for sure. Yeah, that's an interesting race, but
Yeah.
it was the facilities it's crazy, that's for sure. It is definitely in the woods. It's wild.
It's literally War in the Woods.
Yeah. It's something.
Yeah, wonder why they call it that, huh?
Yeah, me and him both, man, we just sliced that one. We both, me and him, horrible passes. That was crazy.
You didn't move 20 foot.
That was bad. Neither did he.
We went from perfect the night before, couldn't ask for better, to you didn't move 20 foot.
Yeah, I don't understand. And it was on concrete. I don't know what happened. It was just a bad. Me
See,
and
I
him
can
both.
judge him. I'm just out there filming.
I'm pretty sure me and Andrew both was like 75 miles an hour on top end. I was like, what in the world, man? It was horrible.
Yeah, his pass definitely wasn't great.
No.
I also think you tried to leave a
He expressed his feelings.
Yeah, I know he was pretty done with it after that pass. That was hilarious.
Yeah, he was.
You need to build a Bigfoot replica. That's what we need. That's what we need to see next.
I need to quit worrying about building stuff and just finishing stuff I have is what I need to quit worrying about.
I understand. That's why I've been getting rid of stuff, is to concentrate on other things. That's for sure.
It's hard to concentrate on one thing when you've got too many things going on, and then you miss stuff on the stuff that's important to you, and it just ain't worth it sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. That's sometimes it's easy to have too many hobbies going on at the same time. I'm bad about it because I'll be like, a dog chasing a squirrel and different things.
Yeah, squirrel brain.
Yeah, bad. Heck yeah. Got anything to add, Corey? I got you.
I need more I need more pictures. I need more wheel stands.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop with that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you
we can rent a track one day or
race,
something and
make
get some
the highlight
pictures.
That's it.
Absolutely.
So,
that's my
anybody
motto.
Like to shout out or thank or anything here before we finish this deal?
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of this. And then, as far as my racing program goes, my wife Kelly and Andrew and Josh back at the shop, he's one of our mechanics that works on big trucks with us, and I have to stick him with working on race cars and RVs and stuff, getting ready to go race. He's one of the few that understands what kind of job it is to go, 12, 13 hours away and race. But them guys, my little brother helps as much as I want. Liz, Andrew's girlfriend, she does all the filming and helps us there. And then TKM, we said that at the beginning of this, but they, the motor they built for me, man, it's been flawless. And then awesome. Nick Taylor has taught me a lot. He's been patient with me. Nick and Austin Shepard both. Every time I have a question, they'll answer it. They'll help me with it. And I feel like both of them guys are very knowledgeable and super smart. And it's hard to find people like that that's willing to share stuff that they had to learn on their own or learn from other people also. But it's hard to find people that shares a lot of information with you, and those guys definitely do.
Big time. That is a very rare to find, absolutely. And when you do, it's definitely a breath of fresh air to find somebody who's not wanting something for, that type of information.
Yeah, absolutely. We wouldn't know half of what we know if it weren't for them guys.
Sure. That's awesome, man. That's hard. It's hard to put like a monetary figure on something like that because they help accelerate your program and by leaps and bounds, something that would probably take a lot of people years. Because they've built that knowledge, and for them to give that to you, that's big. That's really big.
Absolutely. Yeah, it took us a long time to figure out what we figured out, basically within a year, just from them guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. You don't get into the 3, 4, 5 rounds in the winner's circle and all these things without help like that. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you say you do it on your own, you're just a liar.
That's it. There's definitely none of that. Not in racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I'm a Fairmont Zephyr guy. I absolutely love the car. I cannot wait to see it back out this year, making some licks.
Not crash.
Always look forward. Yeah, that's it. Not crashing.
On the bumper's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't even rewrap the bumper. We just left the bumper, so that's good.
There you go. There you go. I can't wait to see it, man. Hopefully we get to race each other at some point. I think that would
That
make
sounds like
a
a first round call
sweet
out already.
video. Do
Yeah,
what?
that's what
That
I'm
sounds like a
thinking. Where we
call-out.
doing this now?
Hey, now let's let the chips fall. I
Hey,
ain't
I'm
drawing
gonna
no
drag him.
bears.
I'm dragging him to that first Slugfest in April, so
Yeah.
he's coming.
Well, perfect.
So, there you go.
That'd be a great
No,
photo op.
I ain't doing no first round call outs. I ain't that brave. Ain't no way.
Just tell Nick, just hit the nut button. That's all he's got to do.
Yep, that's it.
I've got a second set of doors that's got to get around him is the problem.
I know that.
Hey,
surface will be
my
on the
two
bumper.
doors are heavy enough.
There you go. There you go. That probably that wouldn't surprise me. Those things are huge.
Yeah, my car is a lot heavier than everybody. My car weighs 35, I think 35.10 with me in it, race ready.
Holy crap!
What's yours?
Yeah.
35.10.
No, what's yours?
Oh shoot, mine was. Oh God, I don't remember now, but like 200 or 300 pounds lighter than that.
See, he's got a pro mod.
No, I don't know how much weight.
Yeah,
how
you're
much
the one with the pro mod.
Shoot. I don't know how much bias that you've got in that, but I think mine.
I think he's gonna need some
Uh,
you being that light.
So like, I think mine has like three. I forget what I had in it, 300 something. But
I can't tell you what yours is. I can just tell you what my RC cars are.
Yeah,
I can't tell you that.
I don't remember what mine was. Now it's gonna be all different. So, yeah, that's
well,
crazy.
I'm 62%.
Nice.
62% race ready. That's at 35.10.
Nice. That's still that's pretty good. But man, 35 is it's crazy to hear that because that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, and there's not. I want to. There's under 400 pounds in the back of the trunk because everybody, kept commenting, "Oh, throw 500 pounds in the trunk and it'll do Wheelie." Well, there wasn't 500 pounds. In fact, towards by third round, there was only 120 pounds in the trunk.
Right.
So
Well, people don't realize that's the great thing about the bodies that we chose is because the overhang of the axle actually
so
ends up-
far back there.
Yeah,
Yes.
it works out so much better because I'm pretty sure that we measured, and I forget the difference, but I'm pretty sure I'm able to put weight almost a foot farther back than like a Fox body. So, and that's still within the body lines. So that's why it's a lot easier to get that leverage, in our cars than it is in the Fox bodies.
Yeah, you can do less with more being that far back. That's for sure.
Right. I think that's why we don't have to put so much to get to those percentages. Yeah, mine definitely because I'm going to I've got a little longer wheelbase than you, so I would say I would have to be in that 35 to 3600 range. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go scale it after everything and see, because now we've got water in there and all that mess, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But,
Well, awesome.
yes, sir. Absolutely, man.
I appreciate
really
everything.
You coming on here, guys.
Hey, no problem, bud.
Awesome. We'll see you.
Yep, thanks, Corey.
Hopefully
Thanks,
in
Houston.
Kentucky, maybe, or Dig or Die. Maybe Dig or Die.
We'll see you at one of them, I'm sure.
He said he's gonna be waiting
Absolutely.
on you at the chip draw.
Yeah, they ain't happening.
First round call out.
There we go.
All right,
All
buddy.
right, man. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Man, that was a good talk right there.
Absolutely, man. Super good, dude.
Oh.
Super good person to talk
Nasty
to.
car, dude. I mean, it was on a mission at Dig or Die. If it didn't wheel stand,
Oh,
it
I
would
know.
have been stupid fast.
I know. When I was watching live, I think I was watching live whenever he ran Logan, and I knew when he drew Logan that was going to be tough with the wheelie problems he was having. And like he said, man, just a tenth of a second, and he would be.
Hey, look, you got next week's guest already.
Oh heck yeah, Alan.
You good for next
Absolutely.
week, Alan? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
I know what Alan's waiting on. That. He's looking to stake his claim again.
Heck yeah.
We got a bunch of good races coming up. I actually got some more flyers this time, kind of highlighting what's going to go on. I know first weekend of March, we got 828 at Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I'm not
Wilkesboro's
gonna
doing
make
some
it.
big things, man. I
I
hate you're
won't
going to
be
be there.
there.
I'll be
Yeah.
there.
I'll be in Tennessee.
Let's see, the week after that, it's not no prep, but, I am a part of the Nitrous Nationals. It's going to be pretty big again.
Right.
We got some cool classes on board for it. And the week after that, back to no prep.
Back to no prep.
You're going to be at that one.
Yes.
I mean, 5,000 to win, small tire free entry.
Yeah. We talked about it last week. Just don't tell Cashton that we're like not going to the Monster Jam that week so that we can go.
We had this discussion. World Finals, way better than an arena show.
Right, and I sort of agree with Jordan. I'm going to limit the summertime. Like, I'll try to hit some races, but man, it's so tough on everything running in that type of heat. So if it's, it's a little different because, like, thankfully, like the next one that you're probably going to put up, maybe not. Which one's the next one?
It's Dig or Die the week after.
Okay, that's Dig or Die. But I'm talking about in the summer.
Yeah.
The summer is not so bad up here.
No, it's not.
Not in the mountains. It's not as humid. It's not as bad. So, the cash days that y'all are going to be having is going to be a lot different. KD's hot, though. It was hot.
It gets miserable up there. But Limpy and Happy had a good canopy.
Yeah, for sure. But like you said, Dig or Die, March, was it 20?
It is
4, 11, 18, 25th.
Yeah, 24th, 26th. They got 26 in case they need that Sunday. Which that was a good thing like this last time.
Yeah, I'd like to go to that.
And then the week after,
Jesus.
Happy's race. That's going to be crazy. Because you seen where TVC's coming in, didn't you?
Who is it?
TVC's coming in to flatten out that whole surface of Decker Boys.
Yeah, they're putting good
and they're
running
gonna have
towards
walls.
that place.
Yeah, they're going to have walls instead of hay bales.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, if you want to go to a race or like a racetrack where the people that are running the racetrack are 100% for the racer and 100% for the spectator, I would go to Decker Boys, that's for sure.
And then we got another good one in April. I got the event page for it, but, Full Tilt, that Wilkesboro, that's going to be good.
What is the date? 15th?
The 15th. Now, Friday night.
No, what is April the 8th? Is that an open spot? Because I'm pretty sure that's
Turbo John's race. I just haven't got the flyer for it yet.
Got you. That's Turbo John's backwards.
Yeah, I'll be at it too.
Because I'm looking forward to. I like going to Knoxville.
Dude, it was a good race.
Yeah, I like going to Knoxville as long as they can get that entry fee down.
No $500 entry fees, John.
And I haven't kicked any rods. I'd like to be there.
You're kicking rods and I'm kicking cords.
If I kick a rod, it's gonna be a bad deal.
But going back, I love Wilkesboro. And the thing about the Full Tilt race is on Friday night, we not only have the option of the Dyno Night at Carolina Performance, but we also have a RC race at the track Friday night too. So
that's cool. Man, if you haven't gotten to go to Wilkesboro, I think they call it Little Bristol.
Yeah, I've got their full schedule right here.
Wilkesboro, I've always enjoyed. I think we talked about it a little last week. I've always enjoyed going to that racetrack for, let me think here. Well, the first time that I went there would have been probably 2015 or something. Probably 7 or 8 years ago is when we went there.
Did I go before you went?
Probably.
I'm thinking
I'm sure.
Might have.
But I've always liked that racetrack. It's very different. You got like upper area that you can park and lower area. And it's just a very cool. They got good food.
Yeah. And they did a lot of improvements down there.
Yeah. Man. The new owners, we talked about this last week, but the new owners are like.
Oh, you can't beat Paul and Sandy. They're great.
It's so much better than it was before. I hate to be that way, but the whole situation before, you just didn't know if a race was going to get took out from under you, and So much better.
Alan said the walls are up at Decker.
Nice.
So good, yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Alan's going to be on next week, too.
Sounds good.
And
that one is an actual Malibu.
Yeah.
You can't be talking smack.
You sure? I thought it was a Fairmont.
Yeah, it ain't no Fairmont. I love that car, too.
Ed's calling his shot for the dyno night again.
Okay. See, I've not been able to... For some reason, all year last year, all of Wilkesboro's was while I was either on vacation or like on a work trip or was on call for work. And I did not get to race except for I raced that...
100% Ed.
Did I race that big tire car?
Yeah! Well, no, that was...
Was that in the fall of 21?
Yeah, that was November 21.
Yeah, November 21.
Big tire killer over here.
Yeah, that was great. But, man, Wilkesboro is such a great track. I've always enjoyed racing there. And when it goes, it's so weird because it can be so good prepped. And it can be so bad no prep. So, it is definitely a different surface. I enjoy it.
Definitely jealous of the Carolinas, just for the simple fact you have Shady Side and Wilkesboro so close.
Oh, dude. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes to Wilkesboro for us.
If you're driving slow.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm not going real fast, so I always enjoy being down there with the dollars and them, and it's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to racing there more this year for sure.
I'm also looking forward. I seen Elk Creek drop their schedule, so they've got Killer Street this year. And they've got the Run What You Brung class, too, with it.
Yeah, they
so
got
that means you're going to run What You Brung and kill some big tire cars.
They got, like, 0 no prep. That's the only thing that I don't like. It sucks.
Well, it's not really that. Even if it's prep.
Yeah, I know. It's...
We take that KD tune and hit the up button a lot, you're good.
Well, I mean, I've been 530s at...
I think that's competitive for Killer Street.
There.
I honestly think that's competitive.
That was on the single turbo setup.
We need to get testing.
Yeah.
We need to get to the dyno.
Yeah, I need some metal so I can fix my trailer. Hopefully it doesn't look like a gobbled up mess by the time I'm done with it.
You need to stop holding your truck hostage.
They're holding my truck hostage now. That sucks.
We got plenty of time. That's
Yeah.
the good thing. Even though there's races going on early, there's still plenty of time.
Yeah, man. The thing about like as this sport has grown is there's not a lot of downtime, but you've just got to force yourself to have downtime. But if my truck and trailer was
if it was done tomorrow, we'd be going to get tuned.
If my truck and trailer was fixed, it would be a bad. I would have raced all winter. It would have been bad.
I mean,
so it's probably
we already got tracks we know they're waiting as soon as you're done to come test. So
oh yeah. I mean that's the thing that I love about Mike and Elk Creek is they're so good about us hitting them up and saying, hey, can we come make a couple hits? You don't need to turn nothing on or prep nothing. Like just and they're so cool about it. Mike's awesome. I wish they'd have put some no preps on the schedule, but man. There's so many around them. I now that I've talked, I sort of was like down about them not having anything. But man, when you've got so many tracks around them, putting them on, like what would you do? You'd have to end up doubling up on people. And
as much as I love no prep, it's going to kill itself.
Yeah, it can. Certain tracks are going to rise above. And it's sort of like radial stuff. You know, certain tracks dipped and they didn't do radial stuff, and certain tracks rose to the occasion. Yeah. I think the same thing's going to happen with no prep. I think certain tracks are going to look at the promoters and say, "Nah, man, there's a million of them going on this year. We're just not going to focus on that." I think that's sort of what Elk Creek is doing. Is their no prep would be like the Killer Street thing, and then you've got like all time no prep. Like that's no prep all the time.
I think it's going to come back around to being back on 28s on a bracket prep. Yeah, I think it's just a big cycle.
Right, and that's on certain tracks. I think you're always going to have. You're not always going to have them. I'm not going to say that, but your Twin River is no prep all the time.
Yeah.
There is no prep.
That's
Your English Mountain is no prep all the time. There is no prep.
like when you say Twin River, though, you can't really classify that in the same, because that place is meant for that.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
same
you
way
can't-
English Mountain is.
Yeah.
English Mountain is not made for prep. I know they have a little bit of bracket stuff, I think. But
I'll tell you,
they
We went to English Mountain. I think if you put a little work with the drag and stuff, you can make that place killer.
Oh yeah, but it's still super bumpy too. It'll put you in the same mind of KD.
KD's just KD. You can't. There's nothing. There's not a front side you can duplicate that. I mean, you have a great front side car for it.
I don't know about that.
You went to the finals. It may have been second chance, but it was the finals.
Yeah. Well, I would like to get back down. I had the single turbo setup and had issues whenever we were at English Mountain last when that had my alternator break off. So I'd like to get back down there.
Dude, that Asphalt Wars race looked good. That Bill and all them were it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to try that just because you're out of the concrete launch pad.
I like the concrete launch pad though.
I know you do, but
that's I don't know that. I'm excited to see it. Doc, bye.
yeah, that's who outrun you, remember? In the finals. Ooh, that one stung, Gavin. That one stung. That cut deep.
That was a good race though. I very rarely ever go and watch my own videos on YouTube. And I went back and watched that video and enjoyed watching my own video. I was like, no wonder this has got more views. I actually enjoyed this. This is no good. But I enjoyed watching it and like all the videos from that weekend. That was just a good weekend of racing.
So what I'm feeling after seeing that comment Friday night, Shate's grudge race? Maybe you can bring Doc with you, Alan?
I haven't. Well, yeah. We got to test before we say anything. Now,
I'll get you in trouble. I don't care.
We may test and have a whole lot more confidence, but I don't do nothing without at least
we got time.
Seeing what.
We got plenty of testing time.
I don't.
We're just waiting on the trailer and the truck.
Yeah,
And we're pretty much just waiting on the trailer.
Last time I drove that car, it kicked a rod, so I've got to make some passes without rods coming out of it first.
I'll be okay.
I hope. I hope.
We're going to stick a 390 tune-up right off the bat in it.
Man, that night at KD, I will tell you, because the car was working exceptionally good. I was surprised at how it was doing. I forget what exactly happened, but I'm pretty sure he just whole shot at me.
He killed you.
Yeah, he just whole shot at me completely. He outpowered me on that deal. But
There's a good race.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was a good time.
I seen Ed saying they're going to focus on it, and if Chopper's driving, you're like 2-0 against him. So there's you another grudge race right off the bat.
Oh boy, I ain't going. Well, you trying to sick me on some bears, bro? I ain't.
Might as well start at the top.
I'm trying to get out of the duck class, and he's second me on bears. Jesus. Nah, the twins better be the twins. The twins better, when we go to the dyno, we're gonna see. I'm hoping that the twins do what I want. I mean, they did good at KD, and they did good. What little bit we got to mess with them. If they continue, we'll be good. But I mean, I gotta say, I really did like that big single.
Like I know you'll argue with me till the end of the days. That's a front side car.
It's not. Well, I mean, it's got wheelbase. It really should be better on front side due to wheelbase. That's not lie. So we got to do some. We got to do some testing. That's just all there is to it. We got a lot to get done.
But yeah, man. So it sounds like Alan's coming on next week.
Yep, sounds like a good plan to me. I am so like distraught to see him tear the car up, and then just like pumped to see them get that thing back together so quick. Got a killer team, and I know he knows that, but they have a killer team there to be able to put that car back in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, that was impressive for sure. I know they're
To make
still
the
getting
pad was
things lined
crazy.
out. Do what?
To make the pad, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, because we know I couldn't make the pad.
Wonder
What
why.
happened. But and my car wasn't wrecked. That I just needed to put the motor back in mine, but God knows I couldn't keep the cardboard out of it. And we
Cardboard
would've made
1, Houston 0.
Yeah, that was rough, but it was, Butterface one of my favorite cars, so I'm pretty.
I want to try something actually new next week. So we might try 2 guests at once. I got somebody in mind to come on with Alan if he'll come on.
Who, Jarrett?
Oh no, no! I'm not trying to kill the internet yet. Not yet. Not yet. No, I'll probably.
Great.
We need to get, if we're gonna have Alan on here, I'll see if I can get Happy on here, cause Happy is he was the smack talker in that. So I like having them both on. I like Happy anyways.
Got you. And I'd like to talk with Jarrett and see if Jarrett or Charles or any of them, Team Denver, they're more, you don't see them, Charles used to do the YouTube all the time. That was pretty much how I found out who Charles and them were with the Tesla and everything. But
then there was that night
they
in
don't really
Denver.
do that as much, which I wish he did. But instead of doing YouTube videos, now they're winning races. So I would love to see talk with Charles and Jarrett. And man, I like them guys. I really like Jarrett's dad is awesome.
Yeah.
He is always
Very.
a good guy to hang out with. And Ricky, man, all them guys. Jordan, Team Denver is just, there's some, how can we put this? When you're good at what you do, you're going to have a lot of people who are haters, and they're confident in what they can do.
Yeah.
They've always been that way, and
If you think Carolina
it rubs
Noper.
people wrong. It's just, I think it rubs people wrong. I see it and I'm like, I want to get to that level, and I don't, whatever. But I would love to talk with them for a little bit about things, and they're one of the, if they are on the property at a no prep,
Yeah.
they are I'm
Killers.
not sure shot, but they are top 3 contender.
Well, when you think
all the
the
time.
street or the no prep scene in Carolinas, you got to think Team Denver. Team Denver's it.
Yep. But we got Pipestem Christian Academy on here. You see that?
Yeah.
That's my dad.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I like a good healthy rivalry, man. So
Yeah.
seeing all these guys succeed and do well. I mean, I'll tell you, when we were at Knoxville, watching those 2 cars from Team Denver was insane.
Yeah, they were
That's
fast.
for sure.
Very fast.
Very fast. And I will always give credit where credit's due. Thankfully,
I'm
I
really
don't have
glad-
no beef with nobody.
Yeah.
So I can talk sort of.
You and Charles are like 1-1, ain't you? Or no, he got you that one, so he's like 2-1 on you.
Yes.
We need. I want to see that too in the street though. That's a race for the street.
Yeah. Let me. Hold on.
But like.
Yeah.
I'm saying?
In the street, he had something. I don't know if he smacked his. I forget what happened. He had something pop on him. And otherwise, he was running out of my life in the street. But I ended up pulling away a win at the very top end against him. And
They're good guys to
was,
race with
that was
anyway, no matter what.
definitely that was a great race.
Yeah.
And then technically I beat the Tesla, which that's a little bit of a.
That's so old school on the bridge.
That was a long time ago.
And then they got us on the surface at Denver.
Yes, absolutely. So I don't know. Have I raced Patches since then? I don't remember.
Patches and you have only locked up that one time
Yeah.
on Ledbetter, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I've gotten to race against them much more than that. Yeah, that was a good night. The Zephyr.
That was a cold night.
It was very cold, but the Zephyr did well. Another one of those times that it surprised me for sure.
That dang Sam Hood gave you the business in the finals.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He absolutely ran out of my life.
Dude, we've
That
had
was
so many
rough.
good street racing and good nights, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's on a different level. That's for sure.
I'm ready. Like, I'm counting down the days to March, honestly. I mean, I've got a couple things going on for them, but nothing crazy like that. I'm ready to get back into our regular racing.
Yeah, well, from now until that first weekend in March is when I need to get the trailer going and really get the car, like, going. Which
Anybody got
thankfully, I
stacker for
think our
sale?
weather
He
is
needs a
getting a little
stacker.
better. Do what?
I was asking if anybody has a stacker for sale.
Oh God, boy, I wish I had some money. If anybody got 50,000 to drop it in my. Well, I can't say Cash App anymore, but I ain't got no Cash App. But
Poor guy.
it happens. It happens. Yeah, I do.
That's 100% the truth.
Absolutely. I'm definitely racing. If that's the case.
Poor Ed. I remember when he spanked me on hard tires that day at Mooresville.
Yeah.
But, well, man, been a good night.
Yeah, man.
So, guys, I guess next time, same time next week,
Yeah,
we'll work on
absolutely.
getting us another host going. I mean, not another host, but another guest. Hopefully, we'll talk to Alan about it and holler at Happy. Like I said, I want to learn about more of my equipment. So I want to see if I can get
Look at
two
there.
more guests.
Look at there. I'm gonna have Daddy's money. Daddy said he gonna loan me $50K.
I wonder what interest he's going to hit you with.
I want to know where he finding $50K. I'm just gonna take it.
If I don't stop, now I learned after this week, if I don't stop, I'm going to have $50K in RC cars. I got to chill with that.
Yeah, you better chill on that.
It's been an expensive week for me.
Awesome. I gotta give somebody a call about this Fairmont out here.
Uh-oh. All right,
Hopefully they'll
guys.
be-
All right,
Yep.
everybody. We will see y'all next week.
Word.